Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event with your host, TB Scouting MMA, and oh no, the Guru, are you muted? What's happening over here? Oh no, the Guru, are you back again or not? What's happening? I can't hear you. Where are you, brother? Says the mic man is down. I don't know what's happening here, but the Guru's back again with me, with everybody. I can't unmute my guests because they chose to mute themselves. But the most important thing that you guys need to know is we've got the one, the only Alex B. Hunin in the house to help us break down this absolute banger of an Apex card, UFC 96, with our best bets, picks, and predictions. Cannonier versus Borralho as the Guru figures out what's happening with his audio. But Alex, I mean, this intro is worthy of this card. But you, sir, you are worthy of much more. How are you doing today?
Bro, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me for this incredibly mid Apex card. I really appreciate it. I'm happy to be back on the show. I have to say, since the first time I was on your show, like 2 years ago, I'm a brand new man because back that first episode, I had no idea what was going on with the bets. Now I feel like I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Yes, I love it. Because truly, we had to tell you like what the money lines meant. But the biggest thing that people need to know is like you're out here breaking news. You're out there at media day. You're taking strays from Dana White for just asking the questions that need to be asked. But you're the man that everybody needs to be following. If you aren't already, it's an absolute travesty. So go do the right thing in that regard. Guru,
I'm back again. But again,
yes.
I wasn't muted. My computer, the internet, the AIDS was manifesting. The Apex card, it was way too much for the computer to handle. I have no idea what happened. But we are back again with your middleweight main event. I won't go through all that big breakdown, but I will tell you to follow Alex B. Hunin. I know TB was just giving him the accolades, but he is that good. I'm going to give it to him again. Yeah. Over 70,000 followers. Guys, if you like MMA, fuck the bets. If you just like MMA, you need to follow Alex. He's breaking news all the time. He gets exclusive with fighters. He's the originator of the humanizing athletes. I mean, just one of the absolute best people in the spaces and somebody that's been a friend of ours for a few years now. So, Alex, seriously, man, thanks so much for giving us some of your time.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for that intro. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it. I fuck with you guys, and let's party.
Hell yes. It's time to party. Live every Thursday at 8 p.m. We made it to our new home at this time. If you guys haven't already, it's kind of messed up. Please throw a like on the video. It costs you nothing and it helps us out so much. Leave a comment in the chat. What is going on in the chat? Mushroom, giving a shout out to everybody here. We appreciate you so much. Daz, also another originator of the channel. Mr. Mendoza, we're looking for the Chronic Hedgehogs. What is going on, Mr. Meldmano? Yeah, where is Lou Betcha? That's a great question. Alex, yes, the Sound and Pound brother. Ghost Phantom Punch breakdowns. Appreciate you. The Ghost Phantom. And yes, make sure you guys are following Mushroom. Absolutely love him and his content. And Pig in the building live. What do we do to get so lucky? So lucky. Appreciate all you guys hopping in live in the chat. But you know what? I know what you guys came for. It's and like you said, it's kind of a mid-Apex card. Well, it's the middleweight main event, right? So it kind of worked out perfectly in that regard.
I thought you were gonna say they came for the nicknames, because I'd imagine on a card like this, TB's about to pull out the best nicknames available. Not only that, but because you've got somebody like Alex B. Hunin here tonight, who you could even, I don't know, slip them to tell you, tell a fighter a nickname.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, I actually have the best one for at least one fight. And you
definitely don't. I'm ready to roast.
Be incredible. You're actually going to love it. But we got the Killer Gorilla, the Crystal Man himself, Jared Cannonier, versus the natural Caio Borralho, the originator of the fighting nerds in the UFC.
The big naturals?
The big naturals, baby. Are they real? I don't know, but he's saying they're natural. It's just like the clean monster last week. Is it true, or? But here we are, the Killer Gorilla at plus 205, the natural at minus 250. The over 4.5 and under 4.5 are basically priced at evens here, minus 110 and minus 120. They don't know what's going to happen, right? So overall, I mean, if this fight plays out,
do you know what's going to happen?
I don't 100%, but my thought is if this fight's playing out from distance, I think Cannonier's got the better calf kicks. And I mean, he's got so much power and volume. So Borralho, where he's fought guys that don't have cardio before, don't have takedown defense, don't have grappling defense, aren't maybe the most powerful strikers that could put it all together. Like Cannonier is by far the biggest test that he's faced so far. So just on principle alone, seeing this line open at like a minus 160 or so, and now currently at a minus 250, it's just too much for me. Now, the question is, am I pulling the trigger on the other side on Cannonier? And the fact that I have to think this much means it's a 1 unit or less type of idea. But if not, I do think that ultimately this would come to the fight going the distance. And that's why I lean towards the dog here. And if there is a finish happening, I mean, would it be too crazy to see like Cannonier? I know it was somewhat of an early stoppage versus Imavov, but I mean, he is getting hurt multiple times, and it seems like he gets rocked at least once a fight when you look back. So is Borralho the type of guy that can really rock him like that? This isn't Paul Craig, so it is a little bit different from an athleticism and a chin perspective, because at least Cannonier has a bit of recoverability. Overall, I think I'm leaning towards the dog, but I'm really hesitant to fade Fighting Nerds at this point. And Borralho, he seems to be like the smartest one of all from a game plan perspective. So shout out to Lou Betcha. Appreciate you. We definitely got some good lookers in the building. That's why we had to leave you on the sidelines for this banger of a card. But you'll be back to help us out, as always. That's interesting. We'll be willing to see what Jared looks like on the scales. I mean, we'll see what happens here. But overall, I think this should be a solid fight. It's just, what is Cannonier going to look like 3 months after the Imavov fight? Guru, what are you thinking here?
Honestly, I love the way you broke that down. I think you're touching on a lot of the excellent points, all of which being the gym that Kyle Borralho is at right now. Fight Nerds, unbelievable stuff coming out of that gym. Incredible fighters. Have they even lost in the UFC yet? I don't think so. So, and that's now.
Do you count Kanan Khrushchevsky, or because he just went there for his last fight?
No.
Bruno Brazil lost a couple times.
All right, yeah, so probably.
Well, you asked the question. I'm giving you.
But you know what? I don't think Bruno Brazil had originated at Fight Nerds. I think she moved there and then just won her last fight. So, if anything, that maybe erases the one that's probably a loss with Krzyzewski. So we're gonna call it even. I lean that this fight goes the distance. I think Imavov is a much more dangerous striker and much more damaging fighter overall. And that fight was arguably a bad stoppage by Herzog. I mean, I don't think that Cannonier was on his way to like recovering to a win, but he's still on his feet and throwing a punch. It's a tough time to stop a fight, but I understand it. So I lean the fight going the distance, and with that, I just end up unsure because, like I said, it's you watch somebody in Kyle Borralho fight Abus Magomedov, and through 2 rounds, it's like even on the feet, and he hasn't shot a takedown yet. This isn't PS5. You don't have the controller on these guys. Sure, if you were to spam takedowns, maybe, right? He might get it. But if he doesn't, this fight looks way more even on the feet, and I'm just unsure. So I lean Kaio, but I got to tell you, with the fact that I like the fight going the distance, and you can get Jared Cannonier by decision 6-1, like the value is clearly on the dog here. But obviously, getting much older and a knockout loss in his last fight, short turnaround, tough to pull the trigger. Maybe Alex can give us a little bit more of a scoop on the main event details, because this seems to have been put together very quickly on the UFC side in terms of an announcement, but maybe the rumblings had been going on for a much longer period of time.
Yeah, so I parrot a lot of things that you've already said, and this fight is kind of like I don't really know what's going to happen. I will say, this fight in particular, it was short notice. They wanted Jared to come back for UFC Denver, but he was overweight and couldn't make the weight. Then they wanted Kyle for this main event, but it took like literally like last seconds. Like he was like in the mix of like not being able to do it because of work visas and stuff like that. So it was very very close to not happening. So I will say this, going into the Jared Cannonier versus Nazardine Imavov fight, like that, the questions I had going to that was like, when is Jared Cannonier going to turn? Like, when is he going to show that he's 40 years old? Right? Like, we all know middleweights, light heavyweights can fight older, right? But at some point, a 40-year-old UFC fighter is going to slow down. Do I necessarily think that was that last fight? Kind of a little bit. I don't know if it's just Imavov's that good. I don't know if it was, it was an early stoppage, but I do believe he was on his way out for sure. But this fight's like different. Like, Cannonier has very good takedown defense. He's never been submitted. That's Kyle's go-to. I don't think Kyle's going to knock Jared Cannonier out. So I think it's going to be a very technical, could be a little grindy fight where Kyle puts him against the fence. There's kind of takedowns back and forth. Maybe some like point fighting calf kicks. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be a very close fight. But I do think Kyle, I'm not going to bet against the guy. He's shown that he's fucking good and he knows how to scout fights, how to study fights. His team is on fire right now. And I just can't bet against him. So I'm going to pick Kyle to beat Jared Cannonier. I do think it's going to go all 5 rounds. If there is a finish, I lean Jared Cannonier catching him with something. But I just don't. I think Kyle's too smart to like get chin check. But we'll see. It's only 2 days away. So
I love that. And honestly, when we talk about Kyle's game planning and we talk about a fantastic camp, after his last fight, beats Paul Craig round 2. All these fighters don't have something to say, don't know what to say. He goes, Jared Cannonier, I want you. He wants his shot. He knows his top 5 shot. That really, some people may think that that's crazy of me, but I think something like that with all the mitigating factors is like a very important detail. He's calling his shot, and it's an educated shot.
Yeah, I like it. Ultimately, yeah, I mean, I feel like goes the distance, could be safe-ish. It's all about the back takes and if Cannonier is going to give up or get hurt.
I just think he's got decent enough sub defense. He would have to be really hurt or really tired, and I guess both are technically possible. But again, I really do feel that Imavov is a much more damaging striker. Again, we all who bet Borralho to finish Abbas Magomedov? I would say most people, and
right.
He didn't at all. So he's just not. Yeah. He's just not that guy.
No, I get it, and that is a good point. That is a good point over there. Chiral Kiwi, one of the founding members of our channel, the first donator, first subscribed member, absolutely incredible. If you guys are so kind, but please. I mean, we got to give a shout out to the real ones out here. Are media allowed to bet on fights? It's a good question. I don't think there's any.
There's no
you
rules to say that we can. Yeah. Just
whoa. Do you? You don't though, right?
He does a little bit, right?
I mean, No, I do for sure.
Occasionally. Yeah. All right, we like that.
Yeah, I'm like a $5 bettor, like, and I do a lot of parlays. And I kind of like props. I for some reason I just don't like money lines, especially because if I bet $5-10, it doesn't really pay out that much. So I kind of do dogs, props, parlays.
Not unless you bet Dan Hooker with us last week.
I mean, I bet the Izzy money line last week, like fucking $30, and then lost that. So
yeah, that was tough. That was
oh Lord, yeah. But here we are. We're rebounding. We've got Angela Overkill Hill plus 102 versus Tabitha Baby Shark at Ricci at minus 122. Oh Lord. I mean, I feel like this should be Angela Hill from, the bigger fighter, way more experience, way higher level of competition. I don't think she's necessarily like slowed down at all. If anything, the past couple years, she's looked to have rounded out her wrestling and grappling game even more so. I mean, if we're not seeing her out, if she's not getting submitted by Mackenzie Dern, then I'm pretty sure she's going to be safe from the Tabitha Ricci grappling experience. I know Dern doesn't typically submit a lot of people, but you really have to focus on defending the submission against her because she gets you in a lot of positions that are just awkward and uncomfortable. Also, not to mention the size and physicality of Dern, who is bigger than Angela Hill. Tabitha Ricci, she's coming in, giving up 1 inch of reach, 2 inches of height. And Hill, I feel like kind of what we saw in the Lupi Godinez fight from each of these fighters tells me enough to want to be on the underdog here. Now, I was happy to try to get in early on Angela Hill, like minus 110. Thankfully, Bet365 is like the slowest moving book in the world. So they still had minus 110 as DraftKings moved to plus 102. So you take the even cash out, you reevaluate, and let's see where this line ends up at fight time. Because if the line keeps coming out on Tabitha Ricci, I got to take a little dabble here on Angie Overkill Hill. I mean, it was just last fight we're writing her off for Luana Pinedo and the wrestling. And who goes out there and lands 2 out of 2 takedowns on Luana Pinedo? It's Angela Hill. And she stuffs both takedown attempts from the powerful, athletic, younger, blah, blah, blah. Isn't that the same story that could be said about Tabitha Ricci here? And watching her struggle to get Tisha Pennington, fighter coming off of a pregnancy, she couldn't really get her down. I mean, sure, the UFC would love Tabitha Ricci to win, and I get leaning that way. I just don't understand all the line movements. So, Guru, I mean, what are you feeling here?
Oh man, it's just so tough because you just know that like the fix is in for Ricci. I mean, a split decision versus Godinez that shouldn't have been a split, and then a split decision win versus Tisha Pennington that shouldn't have been a split or a win. I mean, that was really, really tough, especially for my money. And then you look at Angela Hill. I picked her early last time, and then I did the classic crazy, got no balls, cash out, and then flip the other way, which is just stupid. And then, of course, lost and hated myself. So I find myself kind of not having maybe the best read on this, but I mean, I like Angela Hill to get it done because I've been as much of a Ricci fader as I could possibly be. I've definitely, I don't know if did we bet against her with Jillian Robertson too?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So we've been fading her for a while and it hasn't exactly been super profitable. So, really, really tough. Decision price is going to be $1 million. Split decision is going to be overpriced. So I don't know. Really, it has to be dog or pass because you figure everybody and their grandma's betting Tabitha Ricci right now. So, Alex, what do you got here?
I'm on Zach. I'm on that Ultra Strawberry Dreams monster.
Let's go.
Yeah. So I hope Tabitha Ricci doesn't watch this because she is my friend, but I'm picking against her. I'm pretty confident that Angela Hill wins this fight. I just think she will defend Tabitha's takedowns, and on the feet, she's going to box Tabitha up. This is split decision written all over it, and Angela Hill is the queen of losing those, but I think she's going to win this one. So I'm very confident of Angela Hill.
So do you think we could get a money line bet out of you at this time?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think so. What's the money line on DraftKings? 105. Too bad I can't use DraftKings in
Alex,
Las Vegas,
you tell me a legal way to double up your money in 15 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Seriously, it's great. I love it. Whenever anybody says to me, "Oh, plus 5 is not enough money," I'm like, "You tell me another way to double up your money in 15 minutes, and I'll listen to it."
Right. No, 1,000%. Yeah. I just think, again, this is another case where when is Angela Hill going to show that she's 39 years old?
Literally. I was thinking the same thing. Literally.
In the strawweight division, right? Like in all reality, she should be on a Tony Ferguson phase where she's losing 19,000 in a row, but she's showing that she's still got it. So yeah, I'm taking Angela Hill.
Oh man, yeah, no, this should be phenomenal. What's not phenomenal is what's about to happen. Guru's never going to be more disappointed.
What's about to happen?
Oh God, I had some last second tough arrangements, and it's definitely not Golden Boy versus GM3 in this matchup. It was the template. It's pretty disappointing. So get a load of this. TV
Honestly,
messing up.
It sounds like Alex is more disappointed. He expects high things from you.
Come on, dude.
I actually feel like I let down the team here. I'm gonna have to step out.
He's gonna go regroup.
Yeah. We need to get back to the Zen place here. I obviously, in the scramble of this week, as they added multiple fights midweek to make up for the drama of not knowing who's winning on Tough, TB crumbled under the pressure. And having the amazing guest of Alex, the letdown is only bigger on my side now. But anyways, the golden opportunity, the golden boy, we'll get there later. But Ryan Loder coming in, team alpha male. He's the plus 150 dog in this spot. And Robert Valentin, minus 180. Over under in this fight, I pulled it from Bet Online because, DraftKings doesn't really have them listed yet. So it's looking like the over 2.5 is a plus 114. It's just, if you really think that's the case, like over 2.5, I feel like that would be if you're on the Loder side, right? And Valentin, if he's having his way, that under 2.5 is probably underpriced, right?
Yeah, we got the lines over on Bet365. The over 1.5 is minus 175, under plus 130.
Yeah.
There you go.
So ultimately, I feel like Valentin here, he's the type of guy that's going to bring the chaos. And I feel like against McCourty, he was facing a guy that had like clean striking and some crisp combos in the pocket, whereas Loder's kind of one strike at a time. He's got the open stance with the southpaw, but I mean, I'm just not too impressed from like the athleticism of what he's throwing his strikes with. It's purely, can this guy get 10 minutes or more of ground control and keep Valentin from having his way? And ultimately, I don't think so. I just think there's something about Valentin, and like, I love the way that Guru was telling me, because I was just kind of watching the fights, but Valentin asked to be in the corner and be part of like the coaches for each of Team Grasso's fights, and being next to Diego Lopez and going in there in the cage each time and seeing what's happening in between each round, taking that all in, and just seeing like Victory or Valhalla. Like, I really love what this guy's doing from an energy and aura perspective. And I understand the line here. I think he should be the favorite.
Say you want to suck his cock without saying you want to suck his cock.
Well, we're glazing right now. I'm sorry, but
you're heavy glazing.
Heavy glazing. I got Valentin here.
Glazing.
I got Valentin here. GM3, based on the TV nicknames now. But seriously, I think that Valentin has all the finishing potential in this fight, and I think he's probably the guy that the UFC would love to promote going forward. And I think that he's got the talent to get it done here.
You've said a lot of things. And I've got a question for you, Mr. Says a lot of things.
Okay.
Have we seen Valentin's takedown defense or grappling defense at all?
Not on Tough, but what I will say,
sure, I'm listening.
I like that when he got hurt, he's showing that he's got the wherewithal to get to his own wrestling game. He has 6 submissions in his career. And I think even if he can get taken down, I think Loder is not going to be a good enough athlete to keep him from getting back up.
All right. So what I'm hearing, though, is that when this dude gets bonked on the feet against a guy he shouldn't be getting bonked by, he then resorts to wrestling and needs to use that and snatches the craziest, dumbest submission you like. There was a couple of those on this season of Tough that is just like, wait, what? He subbed him? It's over? Like, that was really poor. I was kind of leaning Valentin. He has the aura. He has the excitement. But he walks forward, hips out. This dude, Ryan Loder, is not just somebody that is a marginal athlete and makes up for it by trying to wrestle. This guy is a D1 all-American wrestler. Like, I think you're underestimating his level of athleticism. Not saying he's like the best or anything like that, or would be an Olympian, but I think he did have like Olympic aspirations. So he definitely was like in that vicinity. And I tend to believe when you have something in mixed martial arts that's just that good, it's really tough to counteract that. And I'm just not sure why he's such a dog. Like, I get Valentin being the favorite because he's probably going to be faster. He's probably more athletic. And I agree with you that he does have more of the finishing upside. I just don't know that he has nearly 2-1 odds as much. So yeah, I mean, would it surprise me if Valentin like knocked him out as he kind of was coming in and he catches him? No, not at all. But I do think that that's Valentin's win condition. At the same time, I think Ryan needs to fight kind of a perfect fight and avoid those kind of crazy shots and keep this fight on the mat. So I wasn't really impressed with his second tough fight, though. But it really just does lead me to either dog or pass, or if you're taking the favorite, it's finish. Which is, to me, has to be a knockout because I don't think that he's going to submit Ryan Loder.
I don't think so, but club and sub, like a guy that's never been finished before, for him to get hurt, dive for a takedown, front chokes and rear naked chokes are the type of chokes that Robert Valentin normally gets, besides his tough appearance. So he's 6 outside of his Ultimate Fighter, performance. So I think the other thing I'd like to ask is like, is United Fight League Uriah Faber's like combat under a different name?
No. United Fight League is something else completely. Uriah Faber's only thing is A1 Combat. I guess he's
right, which he fought on twice.
Well. Right, but jiu-jitsu.
And he's a Team Alpha Male gym guy.
Well, he went there during COVID because he's from the area, and Uriah invited a bunch of local small gyms to come train there because he had the means to allow them in. And once Uriah Faber lets you in, I assume you don't leave. So I'm very, very curious to hear what somebody like Alex thinks. You know, he watches a lot more regional MMA. He might know a little bit more just about what these guys' skill sets are, their background. I mean, Ryan Loder's got as much heart as anybody. Valentin reminds me of somebody like Jiri Prohaska. So please tell me, Alex.
Yeah, I'll just say this. So Ryan Loder was supposed to fight Ty Guerrero in UFL for I think it was like a $20,000 tournament. And then Ryan Loder, they canceled that because they didn't get the funding. And then Ryan Loder went and got cast on Tough. I knew as soon as his casting was announced, he was making the finals against, I didn't know who. I thought Mark Hume, but I knew Ryan Loder was for sure going to make it just because of his style. If you're a wrestler on Tough, you're probably going to do very good. So this fight is going one of two ways. It's either Ryan Loder is going to wrestle fuck Robert for 3 rounds and win the season, or Ryan Loder is going to get meme knocked out, and it's gonna be like a viral knockout. So it's one or two ways. And I've been on Ryan Loder for a long time. He is very one-dimensional. He is a wrestler. His striking is very ugly. There's no doubt that he's gonna improve over time. I just think if he decides to strike with Robert Valentin, it's not going to do good. So I think he's going to be like shooting from fucking from the let's go, you know. And I've heard a lot of thoughts about Robert Valentin. You know, he's dangerous. He has the finishing ability. I just think Ryan Loder is going to, and it's a small cage, right? So it favors Ryan Loder more. I just think Ryan Loder is just going to take this dude down and just kind of hold him for 3 rounds. And I was shocked. That he's the dog. Like
that's what I don't understand.
Like literally
At
shocked.
Such a price. I just don't understand that aspect. Like he has to kill you at -200. You're expecting a finish.
Yeah,
you can't expect a meme knockout off a guy that just who has he fought? He's still on Tough. Just with this guy, his last win is a guy named Zoran Dodd, 15-25.
Yeah,
like what are we talking? He has a knee bar loss to a guy that's 3-1 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I was shocked.
What?
I don't know what the odds makers are looking at. I don't know if he saw my clip about his shroom story, and then he thinks that the pagan gods are telling him to do a blood sacrifice on Ryan Loder, and he's gonna fuck him up that way. I have no idea, but I think Ryan Loder being an underdog is pretty insane. So yeah, I think if you're an MMA fan, you probably want Robert Valentin to win because he has a very fun personality, fun fighting style, very Yuri-esque. But I think it's a kind of a nasty matchup right now. So
not for nothing, he doesn't need to technically win because where he's fighting right now, they both have UFC contracts. It's not the old days where it's you're fighting for your death and it's like, okay, you did amazing, you can both have one. Like, no, they all already have one. Yep. And the guys on the undercard have one already. They're here.
Yep.
Damn. So. Well, I certainly wasn't laying minus 180 with my money at this point.
Yeah, you were, you dirty slut. I already saw the bet.
Wow. I'm putting you out there for what is it? Not libel. What's the other one? Slander. Yeah, you're slandering me.
Libel is written. Slander is verbal.
Slander is spoken. All right. We've got Genghis Khan Ofli versus Mayran Alenda Santos. Oh boy, the legend, right? That's what it is translated. So we've got 7 years younger, big height advantage, big reach advantage for Mayran Santos. Guru, what was it exactly? We got 3 inches of height, 8 inches of reach,
something like that.
Yeah,
you're love handle scouting MMA. This is something you should know.
That's true. Well, I'm just, I'm scrambling here to remember as
Alex, you were gonna say something?
Not updated.
I was gonna say, like, let's cut the bullshit. I think Mayran Santos is gonna win this fight no matter what. It's just he's the much better fighter. And him being at Extreme Couture now under Eric Nixick, like, dude, he looks phenomenal. He was a hot prospect before Tough. Only lost to Dan Argueta when he was like 22 years old and just got wrestle fucked, which Khan, like, he has good grappling and that's the only thing he really has. But I just don't think he has anything to match Mayran Santos. And I think this is an easy one for Mayran Santos.
He's fucking huge. He should be a lightweight. He's a weight bully. This is crazy. I thought he might have gotten on like Tough in this division like by accident or something. Like, how the fuck is he doing this? He's huge.
Yeah,
he's absolutely huge.
So I'm not gonna lie.
He had a fight book. Wait, and Alex, you're supposed to tell us this. What the fuck, man? He had a fight booked versus Sean Woodson in the UFC already, and it was canceled due to visa issues. So he gets on top. He's gonna fucking win this fight.
Yeah. I think that was during the pandemic. We're
2023.
Was 2023? Wow, no shit.
August, literally a year ago, nearly to the day.
Yeah, so that was the second time. Yeah, because I heard, and before the Argueta fight, they were looking at him. That's
was that the Bazookia spot where they brought Bazookia in instead?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Mayran Santos was very, very good, man, and he's going to show on Saturday.
I'm not going to lie. Watching him versus Cooper, the functioning alcoholic, in the first round, I was a little bit sketched out to see him wrestled, and I was like, "Oh no, what if Khan can wrestle him?" I'm like, "Damn!" And then when Guru told me about the size, I was like, "Oh fuck, he's not wrestling him." Goddamn. Yeah.
And that's his only path too.
Right. Like, his only path. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cooper is a very good wrestler. Yeah, Cooper's a very good wrestler.
Yeah, he's a very good beverage drinker as well, but he's just as good of a wrestler.
Yeah.
Guru, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Listen, we don't shame good beverage drinkers, and we don't shame people that put down the bottle either. In fact, we promote anybody that needs to seek help to get some. But
me.
Listen, anybody that needs it, for real. We know our buddy Alex is 10 years sober, right, buddy?
2012. No, 11. So I'm coming up on 12.
Wow.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, bro.
That's awesome. I'll drink to that.
Hey, yeah. Give me for sure. Get it.
Seriously, man. This is awesome. Awesome fight. Awesome guest. Really excited for this one. Do you think he gets the finish, though? He's a bit of a decisionator in his own right. 7 KOs, 6 decisions.
I don't. Man, I don't think so. Because Khan's very tough. He is like Khan's I mean, he showed he's the second best fight. I mean, all matchups, it's matchups, but Khan's very good. I don't think he's going to finish Khan.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's not going to Genghis it.
That's kind of why I saw on the tape was that he didn't have as much like finishing urgency, especially on tough, where like typically you'll see the hotter prospects find a finish. But yeah, I think Khan is tough enough to make it. I think Santos by decision, that's a pretty good look. And
over 2.5, pick him -115.
Damn, smells like the line of a lifetime. All right, here we go. We got the Haitian sensation Neil Magny plus 575. These were the lines on DraftKings, Guru. Before you yell at me,
versus I was yelling at you. I was yelling at you about the line of a century. Like, woof, I don't know about that.
Yeah, Spider-Man, Michael Morales, -850. Holy Jesus! Hang on tight, people, because we have another prospect versus veteran test.
Yeah,
I'm curious. Alex, it seems like you got something cooking here. What do you got going on?
I don't know, dude. It's one of those fights where it's like I just have a feeling. Like it's one of those like I have a feeling fights where I have nothing else backed up against it other than like Neil Magny has beat a lot of upcoming prospects. He's lost to a lot of prospects, a la Shavkat. This is more of like how good is Michael Morales, right? Like. I think everyone knows that like his ceiling's pretty high, but like how good is he? Because that's my question still. Is I don't know how good he is. Like I know how good Jack Della Maddalena is. I know how good Ian Gary is. Like the the new names of the welterweight division. I don't know how good Michael Morales is, and this is the test, right? This is the test. You get past Neil Magny, you're legit. So with that being said, also, if you're going to bet your house on it, you might want to bet your house on Michael Morales because it's a win-loss on Neil Magny, and he's due for a loss. So if you look at that kind of a thing, Neil Magny was very, very confident at media day, but obviously all fighters are confident, right? So you can't really take anything from that. If you're not confident, you're probably not it's just something wrong with it. So, I mean, with the odds being at what they are, it seems like the odds makers think that Michael Morales is going to run through Neil Magny, and I don't think he's going to, man. I think this is going to be a very close, contested fight, and I think if Michael can get his grappling going before Neil can, it might be for a dominant fight, but I don't know, man. It's one of those fights where I want like, show me how good you are. And that's kind of like my thoughts on it. So, I mean, it's probably an easy pick to go Michael Morales just because of the youth and the skill, the ceiling at, kind of projecting at how good he is. But I just really want to see what he does. So I'm really looking forward to your guys' breakdown.
Do you think that Michael Morales is better than Mike Malott?
Yes.
Do you think he's better than Ian Gary?
No.
Do you think he's better than Gilbert Burns?
No.
Do you think he's better than Shavkat?
No.
This line is wider than every single one of those fights.
No fucking way. Are you serious?
Yep.
The widest of all of them was against Gilbert Burns, where he's plus 400. 370 Shavkat, 380 Gary, 300 Mike Malott.
Are you fucking serious?
He is plus 575 this weekend. Does anybody think Michael Morales is getting a finish here?
No.
The market doesn't. The market sure doesn't.
So it doesn't even fuck the technical breakdown. TB, I don't even want to hear all your technical stuff.
Wow.
It doesn't matter.
He was a bigger
hang on, and then I'll stop. The 3 people that are gonna be watching this fight, the 3 people's opinion who's matter, they're not watching it. They're chewing gum, they're picking their ass, they're not fucking watching the fight. So who cares about all the technical stuff? If it goes to the decision, you need a ticket on plus 575. The only scary part is I did say something similar about Tony Ferguson, Michael Chiesa, and then fight day, we were on Michael Chiesa, and he gets it done round 1. You basically need that. That's the only way you cover the line. I'm done. Alex, go.
No, I was just, dude. So you're saying he's a bigger dog to Morales than he was against Shavkat? That's fucking crazy.
Because it's funny because it's not indicative of who's the better fighter of all of them. It's what the market sets it at the moment. So for whatever reason, yeah.
The question
it doesn't
is,
make any sense.
I won't give you my technical breakdown. My real breakdown is: are we entering the Magniverse or not? Because that's the real question. Because Michael Morales, it seems like clinch city, right? The Magniverse.
He's not going to win. That's the problem is that he's even losing to Mike Malott the entire time, and it takes Mike Malott getting tired. The next question is do you think Michael Morales is going to get tired? I don't. He's really good shape. He fights once every 6-7 months and takes no damage. He's not going to get tired. Magny's not going to be able to out-clinch him. He's not going to be stronger than him or more athletic. But the fight it's going the distance unless Morales does what Michael Chiesa does. You cover your line price by getting some sort of crazy round 1 finish. If you want any money on this fight, I think that's maybe the way to pay it. But
I just, dude, how is a minus 850? How do they come up with that when he's beating Trevin Giles, Adam Fugit, Max Griffin, and Jake Matthews?
It's insane. They're taking so much Michael Morales money. They have no choice but to keep pushing the line there.
Wow. Okay. Well,
and
maybe
he's wider in other spots. In other books, you can get him at better price.
Maybe we're all fucking idiots, and we don't. And maybe he's the next coming of fucking Christ. I don't know. I
Jesus fought last week.
I fucking hope we see it because that's insane. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Ultimately, it's about, are you willing to hold their nose and take the shot on Magny from a numbers perspective? But
DraftKings currently has Neil Magny at plus 600.
Yeah. Wild.
I mean, I might throw $2 on Neil Magny. Fuck it, whatever.
just a little something.
$2. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's exactly what you're supposed to throw on it, because if it goes decision, 2 judges could be making out with each other the whole time, not watching the fight. So good luck. They might just give it to Magny.
Well, Neil Magny by decision is plus 900. You know what I mean?
I'm throwing $2 on that for sure.
I don't think that Morales is getting finished, and I don't think that's necessarily the threat with Neil Magny, because I don't think it's going to be a gas tank thing. It's going to be can he clinch him before he's dying? You know what I mean? Because Magny, he might not react well to some of the power. That's the question. So is the over? That's why the over is juiced also. I don't want to touch it. I don't know what to do here. So
I think it's pass. I mean, unless I think if you're not taking a shot on Neil Magny, then you have to be taking a shot on Michael Morales to spark him, because otherwise there's no value on the fight.
Right. What are the odds of
plus 180?
Oh, so it's plus 180 for a knockout for Michael Morales.
It's minus 120 for Morales to win by decision.
What's
I don't know. Sub is plus 700. That would be. Oh my God, Neil Magny loves getting subbed. Hold on a second. Did we just stumble on something here?
Wait a minute. What did you just say?
Michael Morales by sub is plus 700.
He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. What are you talking about?
Gilbert and Shavkat showed him the business. Could Michael, he only has 1 career sub. I mean, my God.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just because he's been knocking people out.
Yeah.
Where did you find that line?
Neil Magny has 7 submission losses, brother, in his career.
Michael Morales by sub plus 550. Where did you say it?
I have it plus 700 on DraftKings on the book.
Oh my God, it's lower everywhere else.
Are you serious?
Which is yes.
That's never happened.
And also, he was knocking people out on the regional scene. That probably, I mean, they are working at my 7-Eleven down the street. So
damn, plus 700. Is it meant to be?
I'm putting a quarter unit.
Is it really? That's the best price? You checked Fight Numbers prop?
No, I did not. Shout out Fight Numbers. You don't plug them anymore. Are we supposed to still be plugging them?
I mean, well, here's the thing: is like I feel like every single show in the community plugs them, so I appreciate them and they're fantastic. But like, I figure you guys came here to see Chronic Combat. You know what I mean? So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not going to beg you guys to sign up for their service. I appreciate it. If you guys are looking for paid content, it's fight numbers, but
they're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, plus 700. We'll see if there's a better line out there in the Magniverse somewhere. But make sure you guys, if you haven't already, pretty messed up. But there's one way you can fix it right now. Throw a like on the video. We would really appreciate it. It helps us out so much. If you're here live in the chat, please let us know. Fight to go the distance, minus 150 on DK. We love to see what's happening. You guys are hilarious and always bring good content in the community. So keep giving us the good stuff. Oh my God, we made it. The proper nicknames for the right people. Edmund, the Golden Boy Shabazian versus Gerald GM3 Mearshart.
I do want to start this just by saying that I do have some info on Edmund.
Yes, please.
So the the consensus is Edmund's either going to spark GM3 the first 4 minutes of the fight, or he's going to hurt Gerald the first round, and then Gerald's going to come back, use his cardio, and wilt Edmund. I've talked to a lot of his Edmund's teammates. Now take this with a grain of salt, right? Like teammates are always going to big up teammates. But I talked to a few of them that are like very brutally honest with me, and they said that Edmund is like his cardio, it's getting a lot better, and it's like with the one thing he's really working on is his cardio, because it's been his biggest thorn in the side is his cardio, and if that's true, I think he beats GM3. I think he beats GM3. He finishes him. So take that with a grain of salt, whatever you might think. But I am taking Edmund by finish.
That's interesting, and it's also interesting that kind of like looking at Edmund and where some of his problems have come from, and you're right, it has been cardio to a degree, but when you look and see the type of guys that he's been getting finished by, like Derek Brunson, that was his first like welcome to the big show moment, like fucking gigantic Derek Brunson in the absolutely silent apex, blonde Brunson, the guy that, could survive a punch or two at this point. So in that stage, I understand that loss, like someone that could out wrestle him too. Like you can't just take down Derek Brunson. So then Jack Hermanson, yeah, big time cardio issue. Imavov, you know how many deep front choke submissions that Shabazian was in and just absolutely kept fighting through and refused to tap out to? Same thing with Fluffy Hernandez. There's a reason why he has multiple knockouts on his record, and that's why you can't take Gerald Mearshart here, because he's not getting a ground and pound knockout. He needs to like have you completely dead and then get the round 3 submission because you're dead trying to kill him. It's not that Gerald can hold a 15-minute wrestling pace himself. I'm sorry. I just don't envision Gerald being able to do that. And if he is just trying to survive and say it's like the post-USADA era and he's in the best shape of his life and all that, like maybe it is just Edmund by decision at plus 600 or Edmund by submission at plus 800 and his knockout is at minus 160 here. It's like how much you really want to thread the needle and still not even get plus money. I'm sure like round 1, round 2 knockouts, you're probably not even getting plus money yet because his knockout is minus 160. So
right, I was going to ask Alex in a different way. Exactly.
Yeah, like so at that point it's like, okay, well, you can have one single degen parlay for the card. Okay, throw all the crazy favorites. Oh, you're not supposed to play them, but I need a little something on every fight. Like, okay, get your one, like, these are all my picks parlay for the week. Don't throw too much on it, but have a good time. Then it's like, okay, well, is there a prop that we can play? And man, I don't know if I can find a way that I want to do it, because at the end of the day, what do I envision? It's probably Edmund Shabazian by knockout and probably early. And watching the way that he survived AJ Dobson and absolutely just like came back and was willing to survive the adversity and turn the tables and get his own finish, like that's the mental toughness that like maybe he hasn't tapped out before, but he's still given up. Like this is it was like, was this like a career defining shifting moment for the not even 27-year-old who has now what, like 12 fights in the UFC or 10 fights in the UFC?
We haven't even seen Edmund in his prime yet.
Let's go.
Oh
my God, whoa. Freud, give it out the you make sure you guys snatch these up if you're in the chat. This is opportunity of a lifetime. Mr. Pink Freud the WMMA magician himself, always supporting the content. I mean, we love those guys too, but listen, we'd love you to be a member of Chronic Combat Conversations. So take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You guys are the absolute best. So snatch it up while you still can. Thank you so much, Pink Floyd. Sorry, Guru. We had to take care of that. But what are you got anything different in this fight? I know Alex already let us know what he's thinking. So you got to close us out here.
I don't know. Why is Edmund gonna bonk him so early? Like, why are we so convinced of that? Like, I mean, he knocks out AJ Dobson, who doesn't have head movement because he doesn't have a neck, and he knocks out
the first time he had ever been finished.
Yeah, but wasn't exactly not predicted.
Fair.
And then he knocks out Dalcha Lugambula, who again, like, just has zero striking defense, and his losses are fair. I understand his losses. It's just like,
I think it's going to look similar to the Pyfer fight against GM3.
That's where I was kind of asking. Like, I don't know that he's as explosive or as I don't know that he's going to do it in the same way that Pyfer does it. But I guess to your point, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. So if you're taking Edmund, that's probably how you have to do it. All right, you're talking some sense to me now. You can have Edmund round 1 knockout at plus 220.
Nice.
And I think if Barb does lose by knockout, it's more likely by round 1 knockout. He has 3 round 1 knockout losses before. And Edmund, if he doesn't knock him out early, he's going to sit there and conserve his cardio, and it's going to like go the distance in a hilarious fashion. Because I kind of thought it might be like, I don't know, even more like the Christoph Jocko, or even the Bruno Silva fight, where it just takes a little bit more time, and then he just like subs him when the dude gets tired. But I do think that Edmund is making improvements to his cardio. So I don't think somebody like GM3 is going to get his classic gas out. So
yeah, I think it's going to be a finish either way, because both these guys are finishers.
Yeah.
One of them's going to get got. I just think Edmund has all the finish. I'm higher on Edmund than I am GM3. And dude, we haven't even seen Edmund in his prime yet. Dude, he's 27 years old. He's been at Extreme Couture for 3 years, as long as I've been in Vegas. And he's training with Strickland and Curtis and Sadabusi and all. Bro, he's improving leaps and bounds. So yeah, I mean, I do see your trepidation of like which round knockout. Like, is it going to be the first round? Like, but I mean, Edmund is dangerous. Right. No, 1,000%.
It is, because I know he's dangerous, but Bruno Silva is also dangerous. A guy with 22 wins and 17 round 1 finishes. So it's just like, okay, so does he have Joe Pyfer power? And the other thing about Joe Pyfer, it's maybe not always his skill, but some guys just turn it on when the lights are on. And Joe Pyfer is that guy. Shabazian has kind of, no, you cannot. Because does he have Joe Pyfer power? Does he have Hamzat Chimaev power? Like, I'm just not.
I mean, in his career, he's 13-4. He has 11 knockouts, 1 sub, and 1 decision, brother.
Oh, I know that knockouts are his way.
4 knockouts in the UFC and 1 submission also in the UFC. So I think even if he hurts him and Gerald starts getting desperate, I mean, Gerald, he's been knocked out 4 times and he's been subbed 8 times. So is it like enough? Like, what do you get for just round 1 in general instead of round 1 knockout, if I had to ask?
Oh, you fucking bitch.
Jeez, wow. Now he's getting salty because I'm asking the real questions.
Plus here. 185. It's of course the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's not going to sub him. It's just like, I'd rather have round 1, round 2. I just get nervous.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you're playing chalk.
If he doesn't get him round 1, he's going to wait.
Could you imagine Edmund by decision plus 600?
All right. Yeah, I
think goes the distance plus 340.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to lay any. If anything, I'm going to put Edmund in a parlay. I don't think I'm going to lay any of this. I think it's just too too kind of sporadic because I do take all of your points. Like as much as like GM3 has been chin checked before, like he has been chin checked and survived, right? So is who knows,
Well,
It's
for
really,
one
really
last
tough.
final point, for the
Please.
culture, you probably have to do Gerald Mearshart round 3 sub at like plus 1,600 to cover whatever you do on Edmund.
1,600. I was hoping to hear the 2,000 mark.
Well, I'm telling you DraftKings, so if you could find better.
Oh, sugar. Let me look.
On FanDuel. So, and thank you so much once again, Pink Floyd. Everyone has gobbled it up in the chat. Appreciate all you guys taking advantage of the generosity of Mr. Pink Floyd. But I appreciate all the new members of the Chronic Couch Cushioniers, the absolutely fantastic members of the channel. You guys are the best. Could be
Hold
sneaky.
the phone. This might be a mistake.
Hold
this
the phone.
line's not. It's not going to hit. It's not going to hit. But if this is true, we have to bet it.
Okay.
Bet 365 with the mistake. Gerald Mearshart by submission plus 3,000.
Wait. Just in general?
Round 3 submission.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, that's what Kiwi's saying he got. All right, let's do. I'll throw a listen. I mean, is it worth a couple dollars?
I'm putting maybe $1 or $2. That's it. Because it's not happening.
Right, exactly. But if you could cover the unit that you're going to stupidly parlay and play props on Edmund, he's not losing a decision here. He's not going to give up more damage and control over 3 rounds. There's no way. So it's Gerald's going to need that late sub or it's not happening. And that's the Gerald way. So you can hedge with that and have fun with your Edmund props, right?
You can have it Gerald's way.
Wow, nice. All right, we're moving on. Dennis, it should be the Bazookia, but he chose the worst name ever, the Great. Come on, Dennis, that's so lazy. That's terrible. Even Alexander the Great, at least there was like historical reference, right? And this is a former friend, or maybe still current friend of the show. Maybe not anymore that I'm ripping his nickname. He said he liked the Bazooka when he was on the show, and now here he is with the Great as his nickname. Dennis, I'm sorry. Knockouts in round 3 over 1. Connor Matthews, the controller. That doesn't necessarily earn you the Great nickname. I apologize. I think you're all right, though. I think you're pretty good at decent at most aspects of MMA. I wouldn't say you're necessarily great at any of them. So I don't know. Maybe this is a little projection on your part. Whereas Francis Fire Marshall, this is one of those guys where it's like, I feel he's still kind of growing into his body as a professional and as like
that's your professional love handle scouting MMA breakdown.
Exactly, because that's why Dulgarian just treated him like a little boy. He just takes him down, mauls him, gets on top of him, leaves him bloody, and they stop the fight before he's unconscious because it's like you don't want the little guy to just get run out of there. But I mean, now he ran down to ATT. He seems like he's on all of the finest Grant Dawson juicy juice, and we're looking like, there could be an opportunity to make things happen. Dennis, he's shown that he can be wrestled and held up against the cage on Dana White's Contender Series. So my thing is that Marshall, I feel like he's a decent enough wrestler. And if he's got the cardio and he's got the work rate, I mean, we saw in round 3, he ends up, taking Gomez to a majority decision because of the late pressure he's putting on. I don't think Dennis is going to be able to hold him off from the type of wrestling attack he's going to want to get to. Just the short notice aspect of this matchup, even though he's been in the gym, killing it like earlier in August without even knowing he's taking this short notice matchup, like he's doing rounds and rounds and rounds out there. So I think Marshall's ready, but there's no reason for me to lay chalk on him in this type of circumstance. So he'll probably be the pick, but I'm trying to find if there's a reason that I need to pull the trigger on Bazookia Small, given that he's been preparing for this fight, or a fight for this week. But I don't know, Dennis. I don't know.
I have just a litany of questions for Alex. Honestly, it just kind of ends up because it's like, okay, so Francis gets knocked out round 1 a year ago. Where's he been? Has he been waiting for a fight, like begging for one? Did they just kind of talk him into this one? And then do they hate Dennis Bazookia? Like, he's got a great camp. They seem to have a great connection with him. He wins his Dana White Contender Series fight, doesn't get it. He has to get 3 wins on regional circuit to finally get the fight. And then they give him Sean Woodson, Jamal Emmers. They finally give him the Dana White Contender Series level fight with Connor Matthews. And then still, again, they give him like a fairly tough matchup here with Francis Marshall. So, like, what do you know anything backstory here that would help me? What's happening here?
It took Dennis a long time to get to the UFC. That was for a reason. I don't think the matchmakers are very big fans of him for whatever reason. I know Francis Marshall. I believe he's on the last fight of his contract, so that's probably why he took forever to find a fight. And I'm guessing he took this fight because he feels confident in it. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is the one of two fights that I don't give a fuck about at all. And I think Francis is the overall better fighter, so I'm picking him to win. But the short notice thing is kind of a, maybe a little red flag. But like you said, he's been at ATT. He's switched management. It's like he's doing all the right things. So yeah.
Who's his management now?
The good Iridium.
Is that House?
That's House.
Yeah. So, but so that's the thing. Does House care about him, or did House use him as a bargaining chip?
Right. Here, I've got this short notice fill-in for you. If you give our next up and comer Victoria Leonardo after she gets the Wang Kong treatment.
Jesus Christ.
All right. But yeah, no, I think I'm gonna
Pass.
need to do some more digging on the Bazookia side because it's.
I like the over, but so do the books. So literally full pass. Just watch and learn. If either of these guys have a contract after this, maybe we look to bet them in the next fight.
Boom. Now this one, dude. This one.
Baby.
You kick it off, Alex. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, I gotta say, I was probably the most critical of Jose Medina last year getting the contract. I thought it was fucking blasphemy and ridiculous that he got a contract after getting his fucking ass kicked on Contender Series. It wasn't competitive whatsoever. And Dana White basically said, "Yeah, I like the way that you got your ass kicked, kid. I'm giving you a contract." Like, it just set a precedent for the entire show going forward. Now I will say, before this fight with Zach Reese, he had never had a full training camp. He never had a real camp. He'd like basically been self-taught on a camp on a farm in Bolivia. So like he got to the Contender Series all by himself.
Sorry, and you know this from like talking with him, his management.
Yes.
Thank you. Please continue.
So for this fight with Zach Reese, he took his ass to Bang Tao, Thailand, and he's been up there. So this is his first fight that he's had a full camp, and by the media day pictures, he looked like a brand new fighter, right? So Zach Reese is very dangerous. He has the knockout power. We've seen it, but he's also hasn't fought the best competition in his career thus far. So my whole thoughts on this fight is if Zach Reese does not finish him in the first round, Jose Medina is going to out-tough him and beat him. I don't know how, but maybe a decision. That's my thoughts on it.
Wow. I've always thought fighting chickens and goats is one of the best bases for MMA. So Jose Chicho, which kind of is like for TB Love Handles, scouting MMA over here. I'd say the most important thing is knowing that Chicho is kind of like an endearing way to call someone chubby or fat.
I think the one important thing to note that we're still yet to say is that Jose Medina's last fight was at light heavyweight, and this is at middleweight.
Right. No, and he looks good. Like if you've seen the pictures of him on media, like he looks good. He looks in shape. Like he took Dana White's suggestion and took that contract and said, "All right, bro, like you gave me that contract off an ass whooping. I'm going to do something with it, right?" And he put his money where his mouth is and went to Thailand, left Bolivia, left his cozy environment, and went to Thailand to really level up. So yeah, I want to hear your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, I ultimately feel like Reese is huge. He seems like a savage. It's just there's a million ways that this could go wrong. He is the way bigger guy. He seems like he could be maybe the slightly more explosive athlete.
I picked we picked Julian Marquez.
Yeah.
He got knocked out in 20 seconds. That was so sad and so bad.
Chicho does want to be there though.
Right. I mean, it didn't. I mean, Julian Marquez like went out. Like, it's not like I don't think he didn't want to be there. Like, he died. He like his body didn't like. He just looked really old and slow. And then he beat Cody Brundage. Beats him with like, and not the DQ Cody Brundage. Like the Cody Brundage that everyone was like, yes, we have to keep betting Cody Brundage. The one that got a slam knockout.
Yeah.
So it's really, really tough. He loses to Gadzi Sulov, who's just a solid wrestler. So we know Zach Reese isn't going to wrestle.
Yeah, and he got his ass fucking kicked in that fight. You know, I've been watching Zach for a long time. He came up through Fury, but the regional scene's not that good. So he fought who he was supposed to fight. He fought everybody that was given to him. So like, you really can't blame like the regional scene for middleweights, lightweights, and heavyweights fucking sucks, bar none. Like that, you can't put much talk into that. But he did what he was supposed to do against those people, right? So
right,
we really haven't seen him against somebody good. Like that's, you know, like, yeah, I mean, it's tough saying like that to Julian Marquez, but like, who knows where his head's at? He's been to 17 million camps since Krause fucked him. So like, really, who knows? You know, who knows what's up with that? So, yeah. All I'll say is if Zach Reese doesn't put this guy's lights out in the first round, it's going to get very funky.
I think I need a taste of over 1.5.
Wow, listen. I just feel like you just kind of go at him live, but at the same time, I feel like Zach Reese, that's crazy. Bet365 has Zach Reese round 1 at plus 115, but by knockout, I should say. Oh, round 1. Yeah.
This fight's going. I think this fight's definitely going over 1.5. I think it's
you do so then you have to but you said Zach Reese has to get it done in round 1. So if you think it's going over, you just don't think Zach Reese wins.
Fuck.
It could be the Tom Nolan experience.
I just feel like but like honestly, I've always like compared the two because they came from the same season of Dana White Contender Series and they're both long and both got knocked out in their their debuts. But it was just that like I actually think Tom Nolan's a little bit better, and I have no idea if Zach Reese can go 3 rounds like at all.
It's a good point. Yeah, we've never seen it.
He's never seen it.
1,000%. Yeah, no, that's. Yeah. He's never been to a second. He's been 4 minutes and 13 seconds. That's the longest fight he's ever had as a professional. He went 2 rounds as an amateur, but that's an amateur, right? So yeah, it's interesting. It's tough because like I don't know anything about Jose Medina other than he got fucking beat up and now he looks good and now he has a full camp, right? Like that's all the knowledge I have.
He could still suck.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Bang Muay Thai is not exactly like the best place in the absolute universe to go.
Right. Exactly.
It is really cheap.
And
it is cheap, and it's a good place to get on steroids and strike with a bunch of people in the desert and in the jungle and lose weight. But like,
and Zach's also been to Thailand. He went to the other fucking
thinking really hot climates TV.
The other place in
Tiger.
Thailand. Tiger, yeah. So Zach's been to Tiger the last year and a half. So he's been in Thailand too, right?
They're both thriving in the post USADA lifestyle right now. Is basically so the fight's going over. That's what I keep on hearing.
Or somebody's dying immediately.
Death. So I'm gonna pass. I gotta be more selective. Pass. Dunzo.
I think you take stabs here. I think with the prices, you're either taking Zach Reese by knockout round 1, or you're playing Jose Medina and over.
Yeah, because if you're taking a stab, how much do you need to put? I mean, it's plus 115. You're not getting good enough value to only put a little bit of money.
So if you play a half a unit on that at plus 425, you could take a 0.25 on him and hedge your bet.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like a good way to to feel horrible about myself after. Yeah.
Great.
So here we go. We got Slava Claus, Vyacheslav Borshev versus Goku, James Yantop. This should be a very interesting matchup. Yantop coming in. He has a little bit of a height advantage, has a 4-inch reach advantage. He's also going to be about 7 years younger here. I mean, it was interesting because in his debut, he's looking pretty solid from distance against the guy in Padilla, and the third back take was the charm, and so goes the fight. Padilla, the way better grappler there with a ton of experience on the regional scene. It's just now Yantop doesn't really have to worry about that from a Slava Claus perspective. But then Slava Claus, does he really have to worry about a ton of wrestling from the Yantop side of things?
I just don't understand the line. Like, Yantop's a good striker, and Slava Claus, I mean, I know Chase Hooper was grappling a bit, but was getting shmammied on the feet by Chase Hooper. So he's like, he needs to depend on his striking. And I thought somebody in Yantop is actually really good. And at the line at like plus 200, I don't fully understand it. It should have been a knockout. Should have been a knockout for Chase Hooper. Cost me a ton of money because of my boy Keith Peterson.
No
nonsense. That was fucking crazy. Yeah, I think unless listen, the problem with Yantop is these Peruvian fighters, man. They're not exactly. They're not always. They don't have to fight the best level of competition, so it's kind of shaky whether they're any good or not. And then you watch his performance. He comes out, he misses weight, gets subbed by the short notice Chris Padilla, Taco, who we're going to see fight sometime soon. I'm excited to kind of look at that fight. But yeah, tell me, please, Alex, give us some clarity here. You got any backstory? What can you tell us?
I would say I made money on Taco. I was all over Taco.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was all over Taco.
Tell me about that.
I was just, I'm very high on UFC or on MMA fighters that go through the shit on the regional scene, win big fights, lose big fights, fight everybody, and then they finally get their shot in the UFC. Like, I'll take one of those guys over a fucking 9-0 dude that's knocked out everybody on the regional scene, and we've never seen it, right? Like, I'll take a vet any day of the week, and that's why I was on Taco, because I just felt like he'd been through it. This is interesting because, Slava, if you get outstruck by Chase Hooper, it's not a good look, man. And he got fucked up by Chase Hooper, and like that's Slava Claus's thing, is he's a world-class kickboxer, and he got fucked up by Chase Hooper, who's not a good striker. And I'll say that James Yantop, he beat Malik Lewis on the Contender Series, and Malik Lewis is a very good striker, and he's tough. He's a knockout artist like Slava Claus, right? So, I think I would. I think I'm gonna go Yantop. I just think Slava Claus. Yeah, this could be a very, very fun fight. Could be violent, but I think I'm more confident on Yantop.
We love that because we bet Yantop. If we didn't kind of make that clear, we took him, I believe, like plus 200. Again, like, how do you get 2-1 on a guy where it's going to be a standing striking fight with a guy we just lost to Chase Hooper?
Right, 1,000%. And his win over Malik Lewis is like, it's good. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm on the Yantop side. Early on, just doing a little bit of the anthropomorphic research. He stood out as someone with the height, reach, age, and I think the type of archetype of fighter that, Slava Claus, he's taken advantage of people that aren't really primary strikers and made them look silly. And he's looked silly against guys that are trying to wrestle him. I think Yantop can mix it up a tiny bit, but I think that his striking is pretty decent. And I don't love the durability of Slava. Like, he seems, even on the regional scene, I mean, the way that this dude just gets caught at times and nearly flattened, I mean, whew. But thank God we got Paul Wall on the show today, and he's bringing us the great analysis and breakdown. So we're moving on here. Taking the dog shot all around. We've got the cavalcade. Jacqueline
Not taking the dog shot. Not happening. Sorry. Not betting on Joseph Benavidez here.
Oh no, but we were talking about the previous fight.
No, I know, but I segued it into this one.
Oh, cool. Nice. The cavalcade versus Joseph Benavidez, Josiane Nunes, Josie, and the Pussycats. They're all coming out to play.
I hope not.
Yeah, plus 180 for Nunes, minus 218 Cavalcanti. The real question here is like the only way Nunes wins is by knockout. There's no
1000%.
That was not a question.
The question here is, so does that happen?
No.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. So Cavalcanti is part of the disgusting degenerate parlay. She should roll as the favorite. Way more cleaner, technical, athletic. They got rid of the 145 decision. Way more cleaner striking. Shout out to our favorites out there with their crazy in-depth breakdowns. Way more cleaner. Joseph Benavidez here, man. I mean, Josiane Nunes just not. They got rid of the 145 division. I'm extremely interested to see if she can even make the 135, and whether or not she does or doesn't. It's not like she has the wrestling to like.
She needs to be in the strawweight division. Like what? Like, dude, how is she not in the strawweight division? Like, dude, how didn't she take 2 years off and cut down to strawweight? It's insane.
It's like
how is she fighting at featherweight? What the fuck was she doing?
Dude, she was fighting at lightweight. I saw that she fought at
lightweight. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's Cavalcanti.
Awesome.
I mean, it just has to be.
Round
3 decision for Mushroom.
The real question is does Cavalcanti get her first does she get a finish in the UFC here?
No, I don't think so.
She doesn't have a ton of urgency in that department. Otherwise,
also,
she would have done it fair.
You could do like the MMA math where like Cavalcanti handled Zara Farn. Zara Farn should have beat Josie Nunes, but got handed a decision, right? So you could do that too.
Wow. But. You want to know something funny? And I don't even know why I'm gonna admit this out loud. I really shouldn't. I'm not gonna. TV, I'm gonna admit it because TV's gonna roast me. You ready?
Yes, I will admit it.
What's up?
All week, I had Jacqueline Cavalcanti mixed up with Amarim.
I hate you so much.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, wait, who is this? I didn't realize till. Yeah, I'm like, wow, okay.
I mean, I understand it, but you need to take a lap.
Yeah, that's really funny. So it's Cavalcanti by decision for sure.
Yep.
I can dig it.
Yeah, that is interesting from a nutrition perspective. I don't know. Pink, it's not a terrible idea. Here it is.
I'm not really interested in playing this fight.
I don't care. I don't care about this fight either, bro. But please talk about
Zigomantis, the praying mantis, Ramaska.
What are you doing?
This is the one good nickname I had. Look at him. He's got like the same body shape as a praying mantis. And his name even has the same amount of syllables.
You know what?
Praying mantis.
I don't hate it, but nobody's going to want to be the praying mantis.
Come on, look at that. They're dangerous. They chop off other.
I'm pretty sure the male praying mantis get eaten by the female one. I don't think anybody's going to pick praying mantis.
Well, I'm picking praying mantis here.
I think his nickname should be Zigomantis. How do I say this name? Ramasaska.
Yeah, Ramashka. It was actually perfect because they fucking Shevchenko was his coach. So she's like Zigomantis. Like she had it perfectly. It was fantastic. I can't do it as well as her. But then we've got versus next generation Nathan Fletcher. That's the name of the gym he trains out of.
Scousers don't get knocked out unless they're on tough.
Yeah. Mr. Nathan, wasn't it a submittilation or no?
Yeah, but he didn't.
2-round decision. No, it was 2-round decision for Fletcher.
I don't care. He got her.
It was a close one. It was a close one. I think ultimately the real reason they're making this fight is for Ziggy. I mean, they were devastated that he couldn't have that fight, and they had to pull him out literally on like the day of versus our boy the legend before.
No, that's exactly what they did. Now that you mention that, that's exactly what they did. When they're on an injury, if they like you, they give you a contract anyway because they feel bad. At least in
and
these
he's
new
huge.
days. And
He's
right,
huge.
and then they give one to Nathan Fletcher, who was probably a prospect that they liked anyway, and has the connection with Patty and Molly.
Right,
And
and
you know, a
he's
good
got
young
like
kid that'll work.
yeah, he's solid. He's got okay striking. He's got okay like grappling and wrestling and everything. Like you can tell he knows what he's doing in all those places. He's outclassed physically here. He's giving up 3 inches of height, 3 inches of reach, and I don't think he quite has the dog in him in the same way that Ziggy does. This dude is a psychopath, and he had like facial fractures and was like pissed off that he couldn't still fight on that semifinal or whatever of Tough. Like they were pissed, and this is a guy that knew that he had fractures in his face and was like, what, the doctor won't let me fight? Like it's crazy. So I got Ziggy here. Give me the praying mantis plus 136.
I'm kind of surprised to see just how big of a dog he is once again. Because again, the size. You know, in Zigomantis' last fight, if I'm reading this correctly, it was at lightweight, and Nathan Fletcher's last fight was at bantamweight. Yet this fight is somewhere in the middle at 145, if I'm understanding this all correctly.
Yeah, that's where it was on Tough. Yeah.
Well, so that this really doesn't benefit Nathan, because how the fuck would he ever make? I mean, how would Zigomantis ever make bantamweight? I don't think he ever could.
Yeah.
Right? He's fucking huge. So I don't really trust the English grappling. You've watched out of that gym. How many times has Meatball Molly, the second best fighter in that gym, fallen flat in like major spots? What makes this Nathan Fletcher guy so good that he's going to come up big here against a guy that, you know, has him outclassed in size and possibly even physicality? I'm really, again, very curious to hear what Alex has to say. Maybe he's got some behind the scenes information.
No idea.
He doesn't give a shit.
No, I do not give. I don't care, bro. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things where, yeah, whatever you say, I agree with.
Damn, I love it.
Let's
he
go.
knows what he likes and he knows what he doesn't.
The praying mantis is here himself. This is amazing. He made it into the show. You guys are the best.
That's amazing.
This is not the first time this has happened recently. You guys are incredible. I don't know who's doing it, but I love you so much.
That's so fun.
You make my day. Everybody, Wang Kong tonight. We've got the Joker in the building, and it's versus Fury, Victoria Leonardo. This is the curtain jerker for the UFC Apex. The former, winner over Valentina Shevchenko herself, Wang Kong. Maybe that's why they're bringing her out on this tough finale to make her debut from Road to the UFC, where this kickboxing, legend of rights actually comes out and she's won her last few fights by submission. So the question here is like Victoria Leonardo. Well, she's lost all of her fights essentially by knockout. 4 knockouts, 1 sub, 1 decision in her losses. She's like somewhat tough, but like her bones are not as tough as like she is. So like it just seems like they give way before her. Kong, if she's landing head kicks and Leonardo goes to block them, she'll probably have a broken arm again before long. I think I want to say shout out to Victoria Leonardo for cashing me a ticket against the bum Mandy Bohm. That was one of the most amazing wins I've ever had in my life. Everyone, Wang Kong tonight. Let's go. So, thank you, Guru. But yeah, so ultimately, I think like over 1.5 minus 210, like it's probably under 1.5 plus 160 here. Like if Wang Kong is going to cover her minus 1200, she's probably getting another round 1 finish, and it's by knockout or submission. But I'm going to pass. Here.
I'm just curious where Victoria Leonardo is on her contract. We certainly know where Wang Kong is. They just signed her. So this is her 5th fight after Dana White Contender Series. That's really odd. You don't get a 5-fight contract off Dana White Contender Series.
They might have rewarded her for beating
the Mandy Bohm
and being like,
why would they reward her
so much for taking out the trash for us? We'll give you a couple more top prospects so that we can promote.
So yeah, you can get knocked out round 1 by Natalia Silva. Enjoy.
Yeah. So it's coming again. Like, it's either knockout, but I wouldn't be like, just to my point, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kong with a submission either. And she has 2 round 1 finishes.
I don't know. She's got mostly decisions on her record against regional tape out in China. I really feel like this fight's going to go the distance for some crazy reason.
Maybe.
What do
and
you
at
think?
the end of the day,
do you know anything about Wang Kong or Victoria Leonardo's contract status or anything going on there for you, Alex?
No, I haven't heard any. I thought I thought Victoria was cut, but obviously they were like, all right, we'll give you one more, and here you go.
Is.
Yeah.
Love it. Alex,
amazing.
Seriously, I know this wasn't the best card, but you made it the best card. We really enjoyed having you on. We really appreciate your time.
Do you have any plays on PFL?
No, but do you have some for us?
No, not really. I was just interested to
let me pull it up. We never talk PFL ever, but let me pull it up.
It's definitely understandable.
TV, what do you want to pull that up real quick? We'll just literally bullshit for 2 minutes exactly.
All right, let's see.
Because you love cooking up an AIDS parlay like if it's the day of. So you might as well.
Oh, yeah. So I'll tell you, on PFL, I'm actually like, because they just have so many more setup fights, like sometimes you could just really pick it apart. So, all right, we got
how'd you find it so fast? I'm like literally typing PFL on my computer saying
you're slow. Maxwell Dinjadu Nana versus Kent Mafilio. It's minus 395. Nah, I'm good on that one. Jose Perez. Jose Perez.
Yo, TV from the top rope. What are you doing right now? Maybe we should do PFL more.
Jesse Stern. I'm going to give you a Stern warning to chill out, Guru. But I think Stern. Jose Perez at minus 440. That Perez will be a part of the parlay. Enrique Barzola minus 142 to Tyler Diamond. If anything, that's dogger pass. Muhammad Burkhamov versus Ray Cooper III at minus 395. Include Muhammad in your degenerate parlay. Ray Cooper is not winning that fight. Shamil Musayev. This is a big meal Shamil that I can get behind. So the Moose, Shamil Musayev minus 355. All right, I'm going to throw it together. Hang tight.
Wait, how do you But what do you know about Murad Ramazanov that he's no good?
Bro, his name is Murad. Have you ever met a good Murad? Then we've got Timur Khizriev versus Gabriel Alba. I mean, come on, big meal Shamil. How are you going to turn down the opportunity?
That's a good one with Braga.
I lean Braga. Khizriev minus 455.
Yeah, he hasn't done well since the loss of his dad, huh?
Magomed Umalatov at minus 3,200. I mean, you don't need to add him into the parlay, but we're going to do it anyways for an extra $7. Brennan Loughnane against Kai Kamaka. That would be the funniest one of the night to see Kai Kamaka pull off the victory. So I'm putting Loughnane in there.
I think I'm going to put I think I'm going to put $5 on Kai Kamaka for some reason.
I'm telling you, I can get behind the Wong. I totally want to get behind.
What does that mean? Oh, yeah, you
God.
always get behind
Jesus
the Wong.
Christ. Absolute gold. Yes, thank you so much, Kiwi. Yeah, guys, Pink is getting you started. Don't forget to renew your memberships as you go if you guys want to be the real chronic combat cushioneers, Greasy Kai gonna get it. Give it to me, baby.
No, Kai Kamaka is gonna get it, and I'm gonna tell you why. In his last fight, he displayed how good his counter wrestling is and how much better it's gotten since he's continued to work with Nixick, who he's been with the entire time. But Loughnane is somebody who's getting older, has won the $1 million already. Right.
He's been sucking off the tit of Ray Cepho for too long. I think it's time to cut him off.
I just think that this dude's hungry. Yeah. And that Kai Kamaka could be like a PFL face because he's been there for like a minute now. Well, Bellator and now PFL. So.
Maybe he did. Maybe he visited Anthony Pettis and got a couple of suggestions, So
when is that fight? Is that tomorrow?
Yes.
That's tomorrow.
All right, so I got plus 147 on a 5-leg parlay for you guys. It's as gross as it gets. And then we'll put down a couple dollars on Kai Kamaka as well. So make sure you're having an absolute fantastic time following us, following the content. Really appreciate all you guys showing up in the chat. Our amazing new members of the channel. Shout out Pink Floyd for gifting the memberships. Last week, similar situation with the buddy John Newquist. We have the originators, Kiwi, absolutely amazing people supporting our channel. And even if you guys are just here to throw a like and subscribe and have a good
Pink
time
Floyd
for free, yes.
Yeah, donating the fucking subscriptions, man.
Exactly, dude. So absolutely amazing. The best bets, the best guests, always free unless you guys choose to not make it free. That's totally up to you. But we're always going to be doing this, just putting out the content for you guys and having an amazing time. Seriously, I always look forward to this so much. Alex, thank you so much for joining. Before we pass it off to the guru to do his thing, what can you tell the people? Where can they find you? And any last words?
Thank you so much.
Are you gonna kill him? Last word?
No. Yeah, I know. Am I gonna get fucking hitman fucking assassinated in a couple minutes?
It's his ear.
You will if you don't come back in the future, my friend.
Hey, bro. Hey, like I said the previous times, whenever you need me, I'm just a phone call away. I'll be here.
Love it.
Whenever you want me, man. It's generally one of the funnest times I have on podcast with you guys. So thank you again for having me. Even though it was a mid Apex card, I still love talking fights with you guys. So yeah, whenever you need me, and if you want to check out my content, my byline is on MMAmania.com. And yeah,
hell yeah,
we love that, man.
You back, brother.
We need you back for sure, brother. Are you gonna be in New York for the MSG card?
I don't know. This is my thinking.
I'm listening.
So I do want to be there for John Jones' last retirement fight because he's my favorite fighter of all time. But I hate New York in November because it's cold and expensive. Also, the day before is Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, and that is a kind of like just a freak show thing that I kind of want to cover for my outlet. So I don't know, man. I'm like kind of like 50-50 on it right now.
Wow.
Will you be there?
I'm definitely gonna attempt to be there. I mean, if they try to sphere this, I mean, if they try to charge me $10 million,
they're gonna charge you out the fucking ass.
I'm willing to go up to about $500 for my nosebleed, but like that's about it. I can't go more than that, and I won't. I mean, I probably could, but like I just out of respect to myself, I won't.
Yeah,
it's just not worth it.
No,
I've been to five live events, and I've spent $300 each time, and it's been worth it.
Take us away, Guru.
Seriously, Alex, thank you so much, man. If you do decide to come, I know it's expensive. I will buy you a couple slices of pizza till you can't eat any more pizza.
Well, in that case, I'm fucking definitely going.
Yes, definitely. No, I can't convince you to not go to Jake Paul, but I'm going to try though. I will absolutely buy you pizza. I will hold you to that. We have to get some food. If it's not this time, it will be in the near future. Alex, seriously, thanks so much for coming on. If you're not following my unbelievable co-host TB Scouting MMA, make sure you're doing so. You can follow him on Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, Picket, Tapology, and Bet MMA. Make sure you're following Alex Bahunin. Make sure you're following MMA Mania. Make sure you're following me, Guru, the Guru Scouting MMA, over on Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, Tapology, and Bet MMA, and Picket as well. My goodness, what a fucking week! What a fucking card! No card.